So without wasting any much time, let's start with our discussion of axillary artery. Axillary artery is basically an artery that supplies the arm, and before the first rib, it was called subclavian artery. Subclavian artery then changes into the axillary artery as soon as it passes from the first rib. Axillary artery is practically divided into three parts, and it is divided on the three parts on the basis of its relation with the pectoralis minor. So let's draw a brief diagram about how we divide the axillary artery into three parts and its various branches. So here we are going to draw something called coracoid process, because pectoralis major inserts on the coracoid process, and let's use a color to draw a muscle, pectoralis minor. Okay, so this will define our pectoralis minor. Let's highlight a little bit like it should be. Yes, so this is a pectoralis minor. So now let's draw the artery. And this is the first part of the artery, second part of the artery, and third part of the artery. And how we remember the respective branches from the respective parts of the artery is, from the first part of the artery there is only one branch, from the second part of the artery there are two branches, and from the third part of the artery there are three branches. Now from the first part of the artery, the one branch that comes out is known as superior thoracic artery. Let's draw superior thoracic artery over here. This is called as superior thoracic artery. Now from the second part of the artery there are two branches. The first one is, it goes below and deeper to the pectoralis minor and comes out on the lower border of the pectoralis minor, and this artery is known as lateral thoracic artery. Lateral thoracic artery is the artery that supplies the mammary gland, one of the major arteries, while the internal thoracic artery is the major branch that supplies the mammary gland. And from the second part of the axillary artery, the second branch that arises is thoracoacromion trunk, and this has four branches as well: A1, 2, 3, and 4, and A, B, C, D. So this is thoracoacromion trunk. Thoracoacromion trunk. So how are we going to remember the names? Is when we talk about this, there is A, B, C, D. Not the A, B, C, D, but A, B, C, D. A stands for acromion branch. P stands for pectoral branch. C stands for clavicular branch. And D stands for deltoid branch. The name are itself self-explanatory. And from the third part of the artery there are three branches. So for the three branches we need to draw the surgical neck of the humerus over here. Let us consider this to be the surgical neck of the humerus, and let's draw the arteries. So we know that the surgical neck of the humerus has anterior circumflex humeral artery and posterior circumflex humeral artery along with the axillary nerve. So those two arteries arise from the third part of the axillary arteries. Let's draw it. So the front one is the ACHA, anterior circumflex humeral artery. Let me write it again. Anterior circumflex humeral artery. Now on the posterior side is PCHA, posterior circumflex humeral artery. Along with it goes the axillary nerve. So axillary nerve, and the third branch from the third part of the axillary artery is a major one. It is the largest branch of the axillary artery. Let me draw it. This is the largest branch, and it is known as subscapular artery. Subscapular artery. So since this is subscapular artery, this is the largest branch of axillary artery. So along with it, there is a nerve that passes with the subscapular artery, and I hope you all can guess it what nerve it is. It is nerve to the latissimus dorsi, or thoracodorsal nerve. Let's try thoracodorsal nerve. Thoracodorsal nerve. So this was all about the axillary artery, and to the next part we will be talking about the anastomosis around the scapula, and why there is a need to have anastomosis around scapula. Like, what is the need? In our human body there is everything, because it has its own function. So let us consider that a scenario where we dislocate our shoulder. So the head of the shoulder can compress the third part of the axillary artery. So since it can compress the third part of axillary artery, the blood flow can be affected. So the anastomosis around the scapula comes into picture when there is a compression at the third part of the axillary artery to maintain the blood flow to the limb. And in the next video, we'll be talking about the anastomosis around the axillary artery. Thank you.